Welcome back subscribers and hello YouTube viewers. On this occasion we're off to a small township called Learmonth. Now Learmonth is a town located in central Victoria, Australia, 136 kilometres or 85 miles west of the state capital Melbourne and 23 kilometres northwest of the regional city centre of Ballarat. Learmonth is located on the Sunraysia Highway. The township was first established in 1837. It was the original local government office headquarters of the Shire of Ballarat. Lake Learmonth Post Office opened on the 13th of February 1858 and was renamed Learmonth in 1860. The town was named in reference to its position beside Lake Learmonth, which itself was named after the brothers Thomas Livingston Learmonth and Somerville Learmonth, who squatted in the area in 1838. In November 1859, Thomas Learmonth made a donation and contributed £20 towards the erection of a Church of England place of worship at Lake Learmonth. The Learmonth gained an enviable reputation as merino wool growers and stud owners at Ercildoune until they sold up in 1872. When Learmonth was surveyed, there was already a Presbyterian, Catholic and Wesleyan churches and the Stag Hotel. A school was conducted by the Presbyterian Church until 1873, whereupon it became a government school. A rough-hewn granite Anglican church was built in 1861. A courthouse was opened in 1864 and a temperance hall, later Mechanics Institute, was built in 1867. By the mid-1860s, there were 5 more hotels, several stores, including bakeries, saddlers and blacksmiths, and the 4 churches. The offices for Ballarat Shire were built in Learmonth in 1866. The town has a large lake, Lake Learmonth, which is popular for water sports, fishing and family activities. The lake has always been a natural waterhole and swamp, but was enhanced by human intervention in the late 1800s, resulting in a fuller and more defined lake area. Picnic areas, children's playgrounds and nature walks exist on the eastern and northern side of the lake. So once again, all the credits and references will be in the description below, and there will be a little bit more information once the drone goes up, so please enjoy these final few historic images. So we have arrived and we're at the reserve at Lake Learmonth. The reserve is actually quite good. There's public toilets, there's free barbecues, there's a kids playground, and it looks like there's an area here for people to camp up. So if you've got a caravan or something, this looks like the location, but just double check of course when you get here, but it does appear to be that way. So we're only about 1 kilometre or less from the actual city centre, and what I'll do, I'll just spin the camera here so you get an idea of the lake. There is a little jetty here, so you can, I guess, put some sort of boat in there. I can't see if motorboats are allowed, but I'm sure canoes and the odd maybe little sailing boat or little catamaran or something, I'm not sure. You'll have to check with the signs and maybe I'll be able to check out that for you. There are a few signs here to look at, so I'll have a look. And then I can give you more of an up-to-date sort of information about what you can and can't do. But we are here and it's okay. It is cold, very, very chilly. It is very early, or early for me. For me, I've come from Melbourne. I left at about 7:15 and it's not daylight saving, so it was quite dark when I took off, and the sun now is up. And I think it's closer to now 8:30. Okay, so now I can correct myself. So there's no camping at this immediate location. Dogs must be on a leash, and obviously clean up after your dog. And just over there you will see the jetty. You'll see some boats for sailing. It's a big lake, and it looks like you are allowed to bring power boats here for water skiing. So that's pretty good. So if you've got a little power boat, bring it out here, you'll have the whole lake to yourself. Now just over there you'll see where the kids' playground is. There's a few picnic tables, some tremendous trees, and I'll just show you the barbecue area. So if you're coming past and you're looking for somewhere just to pull up and to cook your own meal, this place isn't too bad. So I'll continue on. I'm pretty sure there is a campsite. I remember looking on Google Maps and it did show that there was some sort of caravan sort of place where you can park up, or if you've got a motorhome, or just if you're sleeping in your car, you can do it somewhere nearby. Okay, so I've just pulled up and there is a really good sort of map on display. It tells you where you can and can't swim. Even though this map mightn't necessarily tell you where those areas are, there's plenty of signage throughout the lake area for where everything is, and there is a caravan park. So that's just up here next to the footy oval, which I'm assuming next to the toilet blocks, also barbecue area. There's picnic areas and the playground. So no motorbikes allowed. And if you're a jogger or into some sort of fitness, there is a really good track that seems to go right around the lake. And then you've got a lot of artwork. And I do like this one in particular. I'm assuming this spins around as the wind blows. Okay, so our first port of call is the church. It is the All Saints Church of England. And it was built in 1866. And she is a beauty. There's your main sign to the church. There is a notice board, but I'm not sure if it actually, they do have mass here, or if they do, it'll be once in a blue moon, so to speak. Today is a Sunday, and there's no suggestion that it is open today, but it is a well presented church in really good condition. And once again, I've got to give credit to all those people back in the day when they were building these churches. For some reason they do stand the test of time. I do like the cross up there, that looks pretty special. They've got the bell there, but I won't ring it, there's no string to tug on. She's a well-appointed church, lovely LED light. There is some protection to protect it from maybe birds crashing into it. And it does look structurally really sound. Whether or not you could rent this out for weddings, I'm not sure. Or receptions. I'm not 100% sure, but what there's also is a like a hall, or maybe that back in the day was the school just over there, and there's the toilet blocks are there as well. But it is well maintained. Someone's looking out for it. The lawns are done. It presents really, really well. And those little plaques that I saw at the very start, I've already passed about 2 or 3 for some buildings. There's going to be quite a number of them, and I'm assuming there must be a walking trail that will take you right around. Today is just a little bit too cold for me. I'm going to hit a few churches, probably get the hotel and some other sort of landmarks that are of an interest to me. Now, I'm not too sure if it's of a historical note, but I did purchase this 1982 Toyota Celica. It was a spur of the moment. The offer was just too good to refuse, and the condition of the vehicle is just outstanding. I would have been 18 or just turning 18 when this car came out, and I thought it was special. So it gets, it wasn't expensive. Don't assume this costed a lot of money. Let's just say it didn't exceed 10 grand. So here we are at our second port of call. It looks like the original church was built in 1876. It's a Presbyterian church, but take a look at it now. Wow, that is spectacular. I love the tower. That is just great. It's got its own wall as a perimeter, and if anyone is interested, you can actually buy the church. The church is actually for sale. There's the details. I'll go for a walk around this church and let's see what we see. Once again, the land or the property itself is well maintained. Someone's doing the lawns and whatnot, so that's a good thing. But wow, it is quite spectacular. I want to try to get out of the morning sun and get some really good angles of this thing, because I really do like that tower. Once again, on first impressions, it is really secure. Like, there's nothing to suggest that it has any issues with the brickwork or the foundation so far. Great entrance. Whether or not this would make a great reception place for weddings, I don't know. But this really is picture postcard sort of stuff. Yeah, this is structurally sound. This building is very, very good. Just like the last church, I think this one's sort of in a little bit more better condition, but that'll be debatable. But this one is definitely more pleasing to the eye. That more modern looking brickwork, that's your bathrooms and toilets. Also plenty of LED light. I think the LED light the other church was better. But yeah, the roof looks fantastic. But that tower really stands out quite a lot. And we'll come around the back here. So yeah, this church is actually for sale, so if anyone is interested, not too bad. Look, there's a fireplace here. This looks like a bit of an add-on, and this has deteriorated without a shadow of a doubt. This needs a bit of work here at the back. It does look like it's on gas. What else can I tell you guys? Yeah, this is definitely some sort of add-on, maybe a kitchenette, or maybe someone wants to convert it into an Airbnb. Whether or not this is a popular place to come, I can't see why not. But yeah, what a great looking building or church. Now I can tell you, directly in front, all those properties on the other side of the road, they sort of basically back onto the actual lake. So you're only like a street away, a very casual walk to where the lake is. I'm guessing that the property also comes with a tennis court that once was, which is no longer. So I guess if it was ever going to be turned into a reception for weddings or something like that, you'd have plenty of parking. But then again, that's pretty spectacular. If it's going to be like an Airbnb, it's a big church. Anyway, we'll continue on. It's very, very good to see that. That's a great building. I didn't expect to see that, and I'm just assuming for some reason this town is quite small, when it probably doesn't. And if you looked at some of the earlier maps, it actually highlights this town just as much as, say, Ballarat or Geelong, which is quite interesting. So this was quite an important area for maybe farmers and also those seeking gold during the gold rush period. Directly opposite the church is the local cider, so I'm assuming that's where you get your cup of coffee, something to eat. But we'll continue on to see what we see. So this is your local cafe, which looks terrific. They've got some music coming out of the doors, which is great. There's a few locals in there. Definitely get a good cup of coffee. And as I swing around, you'll see directly opposite there are some old buildings that we'll have a look at. And there's actually two on both sides of the road, so I'm curious to see what they are. And I can see a church further up, so I can see at least 3 churches in this town. Now there is a memorial here dedicated to one person. And it was a soldier, a sergeant, who was killed in action in 1901. Okay. So I'm thinking Boer War. It was in South Africa. And obviously he came from this town. And directly behind there, we'll check out that building there. So these are the Shire offices that were built in 1866. And that's some building. That is a really standout building. And in 1866, that's during the gold rush period, so that's quite interesting. And here's one of those plaques again. Basically tells you everything you need to know. Once again, just press pause if you see something that catches your eye, because otherwise if I have to stand and read it out, the video is way too long and some people might lose interest. So you've got the Historical Society. This is where they come and meet. So if you're looking for a bit of history, or you had family or friends, or just a general interest, this is when you can come, have a chat. I'm sure they're welcoming. Now there is another taller building over there. It looks like a bank, but I just want to check out this map right here. And it's a heritage walking map, which I knew there was going to be one for sure. Some of these towns do their history so well. You've got to give credit to the group that set it all up. Now this is particularly good because, once again, press pause and I'll just slowly come in. There are 37 items to go and visit of interest. Now we're going to get a bit of glare, but basically, as you can see, there's quite a number. And so if you've got an electric bike or a scooter, or you're a keen walker, this is the town for you. You'll get your 10,000 steps in no problem. And if we look at the map a little bit closer, you'll see that's pretty much up and down the main strip. So that's just great. Okay, then we go across to this lamp. Is it a gas one? Is it an electric one? I don't know, but there's another little board there. And it's a gas street lamp. Okay, and this was installed in 1897. So this town is a significant town. There you go. I just noticed on the other side of the board there's more information, so I'll come in a little bit close. And if there's anything there of interest, once again press pause. I do like how they've done this as well. That's great. It should give ideas to other towns that are thinking of doing something similar. And we will be going to the Stag Hotel, so that should be quite interesting. Now, just coming from the Shire building, I do like this. This is where I guess you'd hitch your horse. And right next door, which I'm going to assume is a bank, is a bank. Let's see how good I am. Normally the banks are built quite sturdy. And this, yeah, it is. Okay, so here's another plaque. Tells you a little bit about it. And it is the National Bank of Australasia, built in 1866. So 1866 seems to be the year that everything seemed to happen in this town, and a lot of the construction took place. I'm assuming this is now private property. But that's a beauty, that one. Once again, just to give you an idea, it's all on the main road, all these historic buildings. Now across the road we'll go have a look and work out whether or not that is the Mechanics Institute. And I can only find out if I walk there. So this is not the Mechanics Institute, it's the Masonic Lodge, which also has a very formal sort of facade at the front like the bank does. Very good. And next door, I was going to say it looks like an old school, but I can't tell until I get to it. And once again, I'm just talking aloud and second guessing everything. And then I get surprised when I'm totally wrong and think, oh, this is the old police complex. Okay. So if you want to read that, press pause. So it's the police complex built in 1863. And the first record of a police presence in Learmonth is, or was, on the 30th of October 1859. And right next door to the police complex you have the courthouse. Not sure if that's going to come in. So that's your courthouse. And I'm going to assume there's also a plaque for it. Yes, there is. And the courthouse was built in 1864. Very busy town in the 1860s. And next to the courthouse we have the Temperance Hall. Now it's an arts hall, and this was built in 1867. Wow, this is actually, it's like a mini Ballarat all squeezed into one. It's got every building that you can imagine that are sort of like government institutions, like the banks, the police stations, the police station, courthouse, the temperance movement, and the Masonic Lodge people, and 3 churches. We've seen 2. There's also one more that I've seen in the distance, and this is the general store and cafe, which we might venture into a little bit later in the day. So coming up next is the, I'm going to guess and say, the petrol station. Maybe back in the day the blacksmith shop and the mechanics for the area. There is a little plaque there, and that'll give us a little bit more information. So it looks like it's an engineering place, built in 1861. Wow, very interesting. So there's a guy and his son. That's terrific. Once again, press pause. And it does look like it is open for business. There is a number there to call. I'm sure there'll be some bloke here on Monday, today being Sunday, to help you out. Okay, so next up we've got a bus stop that will take you to Ballarat. We have another general store, but this one is definitely boarded up. It's had its day in the sun. You've got the postal box right here. You've also got the Telstra phone. And let's see what they say about this general store. So it does appear to be a general store all its life. And it was built in 1861. And once again, the facade on this place is not what you sort of expect just for a general store when you go to some other towns. Some money has been spent here. I'm not sure if that sort of all comes in. The sun sort of jumps in straight away and grabs you. But if you look at the top above the veranda area, it's structurally sort of built with some money behind it. And directly next door is the hotel. It's the Stag Hotel. And I'd surmise to say that that's been there since the dawn of time, or when this town first kicked off. Now this would have served all the people who would have gone to the lake back in the day. There's also the hotel's also the post office, so that's good. They've got an outdoor area. Those that smoke, there's a smoking area, even with a heater for you. This is terrific. It's not open at the moment, as I said, it's quite early, and I wouldn't expect this to be open. It looks really good. For a small country town, this place really has ticked all the boxes when it comes to the history. Wow, it really is nice. Okay, over there at the caravan park, we'll have a look at that as well, and let's see what's there. Now what I have noted, there is land for sale here, but also I've noted that there are some brand new properties being built. Not as farms, but as just maybe holiday weekend away, or people have made a country change to live in a country town. So the town is actually, to a certain degree, growing much better than some of the other towns I've been to. This actually has land for sale. And as I've said, there are people who are building brand new homes. So we're just going to make our way now down to this caravan park, just to confirm what I saw on Google Street View. And there is a large football oval, so I'm assuming that the town might have a football team, a cricket team, and a netball team is pretty much standard for most towns, I guess. And there is, they're called the home of the Lakeys, which is fair enough. And it looks like a really well maintained ground. They've even got lights to have night matches or to practice at night or to do their training. And the reserve is known as the Sir Alexander Peacock Park. It's a great oval, very green. And as I've said this before, some of these rural football fields are in far better shape than some of the suburban Melbourne ones. I'm not sure if it's because it doesn't get as much wear and tear, but they're definitely in much better condition. So as you can see, everything's in walking distance. We're back at the lake again, and the caravan park is basically in the middle of your screen right now. So here we have free barbecues, picnic tables, and this rotunda looking thing that I would say was probably built very early on in the 1800s. There is a kids playground, which is great, and that's right next to the caravan park and the footy oval. So this looks pretty special in here. Just wondering if you had like a school group that came to visit the town, do some history. You can park all the kids in here and let them have their lunch there. And once again, you've got another pier here. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it, but there's also a water skiing club here. So that's quite interesting. Now that is pretty high off the ground, that pier, so I'm assuming that the water level is quite low. So they might be in need of some rain. So that's pretty much it for this area. So this is quite interesting. They've got a community skills shed and not necessarily a men's shed. So I'm assuming, I could be wrong, that they're happy to take the girls as well as the guys if they want to learn some stuff. And that's right at the football oval. So that's not a bad idea. I think a community skills shed makes it inclusive for the girls and the guys to get together and share some of their experiences and some of their trades as we all get older. Now once again, this is just the football oval. I just wanted to get the backdrop of the hill in the distance.
which is some hill up there. Looks like they've got maybe a signal thing for the phones or whatever, for the internet. And there's your clubhouse. So that's your Stag Hotel at a different sort of angle. There's your general store. The service station or the engineering workshops are there. And I'm not sure if you can see that in the distance. And about in the middle of your screen is the other church, which we'll go to. So here we have the final church. I can tell you there's probably 4 churches that were here. I saw a plaque with a mention of a church, but it's no longer there. It's long gone. I didn't read the plaque too closely, but I believe it might have been burnt down or just demolished, or it would have been made out of wood. So this is St. Joseph's Catholic Church. I'll just zoom in a little bit better. Also 1857, so it's probably one of the first churches that actually went up. And this one is quite good. Looks like one of the palm trees has called it a day. Yeah. Doesn't really have the same ambience as the one with the tower, and instead of stone, this is predominantly brick. It does have lead light, which is great. It's been protected, so I'm assuming this is a church that does get used. Wow. Now I can tell you there's a lot of parrots, lorikeets in the immediate area. I can hear them, which is great. Now we'll just go have a bit of a look around to get some angles of this church. This must be the rear of the church. Yep. Very good. Okay, so that's the church out of the way. Directly opposite is the more modern police station. So there is police presence. There is a country fire authority building here as well. There is a primary school. So if anyone's thinking of making a country change, this is pretty good. This, when it comes to towns. This place has got everything. It's even got a lake to satisfy the needs for kids and adults during the hot summers.
Now I'll just take the opportunity to jump in and sort of give you a bit of a summary. Learmonth today has a post office, a pub, a cafe, an antique store, 3 churches, a Shire Hall, Historic Society, the police station, the art hall and the community garden, not to mention the lawn bowling club. There's also an aged care facility and a friendly and active community life. There is also a free community newsletter named the Learmonth Thunderer, run by volunteers. I'm sure they could always do with some extra help. There is also the Australian Rules football team competing in the Central Highlands Football League. An historic walking tour runs up and down the main street, which is the High Street, and it highlights, as we've noted, many of the interesting former businesses of the early settlers and colonial period. So please enjoy the drone footage and the overall aerial views. Now, just also, and a quick note, I assumed that there was a primary school at this town as well, and it doesn't appear to be so. So there's no primary school in Learmonth.
So that's pretty much it about Learmonth. Great town. If you did like the video, by all means, click on the like button or that thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. Subscribe doesn't cost you 1 cent, and it really does help the channel immensely. But once again, most importantly, stay safe, commute safe, and thank you for watching, and bye for now.